All right, guys, this is the Rambler episode 3. Today, we're going to be talking about Invincible, the new season, episode 1. I got to say, I've been waiting for the show for a very long time, and I'm really excited that it is finally back. All right, let me start off by saying I'm already a fan of the alternate universe of Mark. It's interesting. The alternate version of Mark, he does come off as a menace, but he also seems like he still has the traits from our normal Mark. Now, the alternate version of Mark could be full of shit, but I felt a feeling that he was actually sympathetic for the victims. He gives off the feeling that he truly believes what him and his father are doing is right for the human race and right for the earth. Watching the alternate Mark be on the Jumbotron trying to warn the humans that everything's going to be all right and they're actually here to save them is really refreshing. It was actually terrifying and unsettling watching him interact with Eve. He has a sense of calmness, but yet he is here to rule them. And it seems like in their alternate universe, him and Eve had a type of friendship or a type of lovership. You can tell in this universe, Mark actually cares about Eve, and he really wants the best for her. But in the back of his mind, he thinks what's the best for her is basically ruling down to him and his father. So he basically gives her an option: serve me or die. But like I said, he clearly has feelings for her. So instead of snapping her neck off, he paralyzes her. After paralyzing her, his father, Omni-Man, mentions to Mark that, oh, that's what you've been doing. I was wondering. Basically hinting at the fact that Mark is actually, instead of killing people, he's going around paralyzing a bunch of people. And he basically told his dad that, oh, she'll be fine. Somebody will watch over her. But in a menacing and cold way. It was actually sad watching our heroes, such as Robot and Eve, hiding down in the sewers like rats. Eventually, we move to present day, and they show us what's been going on with the group and what's been going on with Mark and his mother after, Omni-Man has disappeared. He has clearly left a hole in their hearts and also a big-ass hole in the city. By the way Mark interacts with people around him, you can still tell that he is traumatized by the fact that his own father almost beat him to death. And also, he has to deal with the fact that he heard his own father call his mother basically a pet. But as we get closer in the episode, we realize that him and his girlfriend actually are doing pretty good. They just been found out that they are both going to go to the same college together, so that can keep him in good spirits. Also, we have a scene where the school bully actually confronts Mark and tells him that, hey, I understand, how you feel, even though he does it in the wrong way. But it was good to see a softer side of the bully. I was definitely getting some Spider-Man vibes. When Flash goes up to Peter and apologizes for being a douchebag. Also, earlier in the episode, we see how the team is doing, right? With Rex, Robot, and etc. Cecile mentions to the team that they are sloppy and that they haven't been doing good work. That they take too long to defeat the villains. And by the time they do defeat the villains, there's a bunch of rubble and the city is usually trashed by then. He's basically telling them to step their shit up. So he brings the Immortal in to lead the team and demotes Robot. We get a scene with the twins basically talking shit to the correctional officer before a portal opens, and it is revealed that the mystery man behind the portal is actually one of the people who were hiding from Omni-Man and alternate Mark. It is revealed that this man actually has the power to travel to different multiverses. And the character that we saw was just another version of him. So he tries to convince the twins to build a machine that can bring all the variants' memories and put them in our character's head. So instead of asking him 50 million questions on how to solve the problem, he can just already have that, information stored in his memory. Of course, the twins tell him that this procedure is pretty dangerous and they cannot stop once they get started. So while the process is going on, everything's looking good. One of our characters, is in absolute pain, right? That is when Omni-Man comes in and tries to save the day. However, he's only just making it worse. He starts to fight the twins until our multiverse character brings in a bunch of other twins, and then they all start to fight Omni-Man, almost beating him to death. But our multiverse character does not want that and tries to stop the twins, but eventually they were too hard to handle, so he takes the helmet off, basically exploding up the whole area. That is when it's revealed that the twins are basically fucked up from their face all the way to their body. And it's also revealed that our multi-dimensional character, he also got damaged. And his face is disfigured, and you can basically see his brains on the outside of his head. So, of course, he starts freaking out and starts suggesting the idea that Omni-Man, or possibly Mark, is the cause for all of this, right? So towards the end, his main mission is to take out Mark, or Omni-Man. Now, unfortunately, I think this was a good idea, but I wish we would have saw more of the character as a good dude. He came off as reasonable in the beginning. Now it seems like the character is headed towards more of a hate arc, and he's going to lean more to the side of a villain. Also, I want to add that the multiverse character mentioned that Mark, and all the universe, the majority of them, he chooses to side along with his dad, which is very interesting. Basically showing that the normal outcome is he was going to rule with his father. Thus showing that our Mark is one of a kind. And he truly is a humble man who's passionate about the human race. And he truly loves his family and friends around, to where he would not allow them to become slaves to him and his father. I gotta say, while I did enjoy this episode, it did feel kind of underwhelming, and that just could be because it is the first episode and I expected too much. Now, it would have been nice to see Omni-Man, back in the flesh, but hey, I guess we just gotta wait a little bit. I also like that Immortal confronts Mark and basically tells his ass he does not trust him. He basically thinks he is his father's son and eventually will turn on people. I mean, he has a good ass point. I mean, he thought his father was cool as fuck, and then one day he just randomly killed them all. So I understand the concerns. So I would give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. Not great, but it wasn't bad at all. Still pretty enjoyable for the series. However, I do hope to see Omni-Man next episode, and I also hope to dive deep more into the alternate version of Mark. It doesn't matter which one. I just want to see him being evil, and also I want to see the transition with him becoming a good guy to eventually trying to control the world with his father.